I know I probably should have made this video last night, but I was deadbeat tired. I had a lot of stuff to do, and I just didn't get around to it. I just took the rest of the time to relax and go to sleep, which I know, bad on me, but I'm a bad content creator. I get it. But before we talk about the Lions game, a word from our sponsor. This video is being sponsored by BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook. Right now, BetUS is offering a 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. Now, I'm not good at math, but if you put down $1,000, that means you're going to have about $1,250 to work with. Now, if you ask me, that's a deal. Now, the season hasn't started yet, but you could put down some player prop bets before the season even starts. If you check out the quarterback prop bet for 30-plus touchdowns, you'll see Daniel Jones all the way at the bottom. And for everybody that thinks Daniel Jones and the offense are going to succeed this year, that's plus 4,000. I mean, I would take that. I mean, Jones with Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hyatt, a couple of running backs that can catch the ball at the backfield, Theo Johnson, and a revamped offensive line, he may hit 30-plus touchdowns. And if you bet now, you'll win big. Click the link below and make sure you guys use the promo code JOIN125. And as always, bet responsibly. All right, so let's talk Giants versus Lions. Now, I'll be honest with you. Through the second half, if you guys paid attention to my stream, Kush dropped in. I was watching the game, obviously, but just really not invested. It wasn't all that great, to be honest. But I'll tell you what, the first half I was immersed. The first half was very, very good. All 3 running backs, in my opinion, were probably the stars of the show. Probably the biggest highlight to come out of this was not only the running backs, but the run blocking. Now, from what I can say about the pass blocking, isn't as good. The pass blocking was atrocious. Josh Zudu, even though PFF graded him very high, I don't believe he performed that well. I don't believe any of the offensive linemen really stood out as a pass blocker. Speaking of pass blocking, Tyrone Tracy wasn't very good in pass protection as he completely whiffed on a block and it got Drew Lock sacked. But that being said, the running backs I thought played very well. I believe Tyrone Tracy had about 5.2 or something like that, give or take, yards per carry, like 5 carries, 26 yards or something like that. I mean, that's all you could ask for on the limited amount of snaps that he was given. And he just, every snap he had, every carry that he had, he did the most with it. He was very patient. And not only was he patient, but he was so quick with the change of direction. I mean, he just looks like he's played running back his entire life. I mean, he was a wide receiver. It's crazy to say that. You guys know I did a whole short documentary on him, and his story is absolutely amazing. I'm really rooting for Tyrone Tracy. You look at Eric Gray, and we had a lot of kind of a bad taste in our mouth when it came to Eric Gray. Going back to last year, he looked slow as molasses. He looked like he had bricks for feet. He just looked slow out there. He didn't look like the Eric Gray that we saw at Oklahoma and at Tennessee during his collegiate career. I don't know what it was. He just looked very slow when he hit the hole, and it didn't look like he did much after that. Even during the season, just didn't look good. But you see Eric Gray, I mean, he was making long strides. He kind of runs with some, long strided type runner where he kind of glides through the air. And, he looked good. He looked a lot faster. He looked a lot stronger. I believe his yards was like 52 yards total rushing, and 51 of them were after contact. So that's good, and shows that he's really pushing through it. So, and he had 2 touchdowns. He had the only scores of the game besides the kicker. So, good on Eric Gray. And Turbo Miller, although I feel like Turbo is a bit too small. I'm not going to say too small, but not strong enough is what I would like to say, because I don't really think there is a too small in the NFL at the running back position. You guys seen guys like Darren Sproles make it just fine in the league because they're just strong enough. Even a guy like Devin Singletary, who's on our team now, he's standing at a crazy 5'6", but he's a lot tougher than his height presents. Turbo just kind of gets thrown around. You've seen him kind of, defenders with one arm just throw him to the ground. Yes, he bounces off of tackles here and there. He's able to kind of stay on his feet, kind of stumble and pick up a couple of extra yards. But that's something that definitely Turbo needs to work on, is kind of not going down after a quick hit like Eric Gray and Tyrone Tracy definitely don't. They kind of slip off of tackles either by slipping off by like what Tyrone Tracy does, or completely bounce off like a bigger back like Eric Gray does. But Turbo had some good runs. Definitely more of an outside runner. Don't really see him being utilized in between the tackles. But all three running backs to me were impressive. You go on to the defensive side of the football, because honestly, the offensive side wasn't that great. Tommy DeVito looked okay. He looked good, but I'm going to give them a pass. I'm going to give the whole passing game a pass because of the weather conditions over there, and they're backups, guys. They're backups. They're not prepared for that kind of stuff. Drew Lock didn't look that great before he got injured. Then Tommy DeVito came in, and I don't know what it is, man. I don't think Tommy DeVito is a fantastic quarterback, but it's something about his energy that when he goes on the field, like you kind of like believe that he's gonna do something. You know what I mean? I don't know if I hate to say aura all the time, but it's the attitude that he has. It's the kind of confidence that he has, and in turn, it kind of gives confidence to the rest of the team. And you always kind of think he's gonna throw downfield, and he does for the most part. He is not afraid to do that, and I liked what I saw from Tommy DeVito. And that's pretty much it from the offense. Malik Neighbors did not have a reception. He had 12 snaps, a couple of targets. There was that like corner route on a cover 2 that a lot of people thought was open. It was not open, guys. I don't know why you guys are playing Madden, and this is why a lot of you guys that play Madden throw a lot of interceptions, because that was not open, and that was baited by the corner and the safety. He was being double teamed, rolling the coverage on Malik Neighbors. They just didn't allow him to get the ball. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. On the defensive side of the football, you had Deontay Johnson, who did very, very well for the starters, quote unquote. Listen, I root for everybody on the Giants, but I don't want him to take Micah McFadden's job. You know what I'm saying? But he did impress me, and he had like a tackle, I think 1 or 2 tackles for loss. And his presence was definitely felt there with the starting guys on the preseason game. Then some of the secondary guys, Tyler Nubin, kind of there were probably like 2 or 3 consecutive plays where I really liked from Tyler Nubin. The rest, I didn't really notice him after that, but they were good plays. Drew Phillips was great in coverage, as I kind of expected. And one thing that I need to eat my words on, eat my crow on, you guys know I was really disappointed with the Andrew Phillips draft, because I really hated his ability to tackle. I thought he could not tackle at all. Seems like he worked on that in the offseason, because he had a phenomenal tackle for loss in the backfield on a running back. And listen, it got me hyped up. So great job by 22. Trey Hawkins graded out well according to PFF. I know he gave up a couple targets. Obviously, I haven't looked at the All-22 yet. Don't worry, guys. I'm looking at the All-22 tonight. I'll have a film review of the preseason game, and I'll also be doing separate videos of All-22 film for you guys, just for you guys. Not me talking, just straight up film on specific players so you guys can watch them for yourself. For those of you guys that don't have access to All-22, don't worry. I'm providing that for all of you guys. I'm really rooting for Trey Hawkins, man. I'll be honest with you, I'm not much of a Cordell Flott guy. I really like the potential of Trey Hawkins. That's why I really want him to earn his way to cornerback 2. I was really a big fan of him last year, but obviously he wasn't able to play the part in the regular season. I'm hoping he really builds up some confidence and starts to perform out there during the preseason. It kind of nobody's really counting on Trey Hawkins anymore after what happened last year as possibly being an option at the number 2 corner. Right now it's Cordell Flott and Darnay Holmes. Darnay Holmes was not playing well. Did not play well. Darnay Holmes did in last game. So as far as the secondary goes, it was okay. They honestly didn't look as bad or inexperienced as I thought they would. We'll see what happens regular season time. This is just the preseason, but it helped out my confidence a little bit with the secondary. The edge rush, though, there were a couple of guys that really made an impact, but unfortunately guys that I don't think are going to make the team. You got the interior guys like Elijah Chapman, you got Casey Rogers, both undrafted free agent guys, and guys that really performed well. And I honestly noticed their impact both in the passing game, pass rushing and run stopping. I mean, I noticed them out there on the line. And then on the edge was, I cannot pronounce his name, but I'm gonna say Double O, the edge rusher from LSU, OV something. He had a couple of good reps as well, and also I think his name is Benton Whitley. He had what almost was 2 sacks. He had 1 sack, 2 quarterback hits, a couple of pressures to add on with it. But, he was making his presence known as well in the second half. But other than that, I don't really know if there's anybody else that I'm really like excited about. Like, I was really hoping that we could see some good competition with the wide receivers. The tight ends were okay. I don't know if Theo Johnson even played, but Tyree Jackson made a couple of good catches. But other than that, I really don't know if I really loved anybody else's game. Like I said, things kind of got really stagnant in the second half. You had the 2 touchdowns in the first half by the Giants, and other than that, it was just kind of boring at that point. There was just a lot of punting, a lot of 3-and-outs going on, and a lot of it was due to the weather conditions. So there's that. But the biggest thing I could take out of this as a whole is we were able to stay physical with one of the most physical rosters in the NFL. I know that they are backups. The Detroit Lions, they're backup players. However, the culture in that Detroit Lions facility is all about grit. It's all about physicality. Just like last year, the score was 21-16, but they were completely more physical than us, both in the joint practices and in training camp. And I think joint practices and the preseason game. But if you look at what happened in training camp and if you look at what happened in this game, I think we were the more physical team. And that showed up, presented a lot in the newer players that we got, whether it be free agent acquisitions or guys that we drafted like Theo Johnson and Malik Neighbors, really showing some physicality and some dog in them during the practices, and it's kind of feeding into the rest of the team. And that's what we want to see. We want to be the most physical team out there, because being the most physical team can outweigh being the most talented team, and it may get you a win. It's all about who wants it more. So I'm happy with how this team plays. It definitely wasn't perfect. It was a bit sloppy. Weather conditions played a part, but that is it, guys. Like I said, I'm going to be working all night. Tomorrow's going to be a huge, probably quadruple upload day. Who knows? Be ready for that. But happy Friday. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe, everybody. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. And thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. I am Kid Blue, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Woo!